No one actually sees death. The body lies still. The heart stops. And everyone in the room watches. But something leaves that no eye can follow. Science calls it energy collapse. Religion calls it the departure of the soul. At the final moment, the body is still here, yet the person is already somewhere else. Some souls leave gently, like a drop of water slipping away. Others are torn out violently, as if being pulled from another world. What decides this difference? Is the soul energy? Does it have a frequency? And can modern physics explain what ancient revelation already described? To grasp the departure of the soul, we must first comprehend what the soul might be. Many traditions describe the soul as a form of energy, a life force that animates the body. Energy, in both metaphysical and scientific terms, is the fundamental currency of the universe. Quantum mechanics, the study of particles at the smallest possible scale, reveals that everything in the universe, including the human body, is made up of energy. Every atom, every molecule vibrates, emitting and absorbing energy at specific frequencies. But where does the soul fit into this energy system? The soul, in this perspective, may be seen as the prime energy, or the core vibrational frequency that defines consciousness and self-awareness. Quantum physicists have long speculated that the fundamental particles making up matter are not just passive objects, but vibrational fields. The famous quantum physicist Erwin Schrödinger described the mind and the body as intimately connected through quantum processes, implying that the soul, or consciousness, might have a quantum foundation. At the quantum level, energy and matter are interchangeable. The body itself is not just physical matter, but an intricate matrix of electromagnetic fields that govern biological processes. If we define the soul as an energetic entity, it may exist within and be part of these fields, possibly extending beyond them. If we understand the soul as a form of energy, it must adhere to the universal law of conservation of energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but can only transform from one form to another. In life, the soul manifests within the body, acting as the subtle force that animates and directs consciousness. Upon death, this energy must transform, departing from the material body and moving into other dimensions, realms, or planes of existence. But how does this occur? The answer lies in frequency. At its core, the soul, like all energy, may vibrate at a specific frequency. Frequency, in scientific terms, is the number of oscillations or cycles per second that a wave undergoes. Everything in the universe has a frequency, from the smallest particles to vast galaxies. Human beings, too, emit frequencies. This is evident in phenomena such as brain waves, heart rhythms, and even emotions. High-frequency vibrations tend to represent positive energy, such as love, compassion, and harmony, while low-frequency vibrations correlate with negative energy, such as fear, hatred, and guilt. If the soul is a high-frequency energy, it is naturally attuned to the quantum realm, which operates beyond the ordinary physical laws that govern the material world. We know from cymatics and sound wave experiments that different frequencies can alter physical matter in profound ways. Sound and light, both forms of energy, create patterns that can organize or disorganize particles. If the soul exists as a frequency-based entity, it may interact with the body in a similar way, guiding its life processes at a quantum level. As the body reaches the point of death, the frequency of the soul may rise, preparing it to leave the denser material plane. When the body is alive and healthy, the soul's frequency remains in harmony with the physical systems that sustain life. However, at the moment of death, these systems break down. The soul, with its higher frequency, begins to detach from the physical body. much like a signal becoming untethered from a radio or a wave dissolving into the ocean. The state of the soul at the time of death, whether it vibrates at a high or low frequency, may directly affect how easily it departs from the physical form. Consider the analogy of tuning a radio. When the frequency is clear and aligned, the sound waves travel effortlessly, but if the frequency is muddled or discordant, interference occurs. Similarly, a soul vibrating at a high frequency, attuned to states of peace and enlightenment, may depart the body with ease, transitioning smoothly into a higher plane of existence. In contrast, a soul burdened with negative energy or low-frequency vibrations, perhaps due to unresolved conflicts, sin, or fear, may struggle to detach, leading to a more difficult and prolonged departure. This idea is supported by a hadith that narrates, "When a believer is about to leave this world and transition to the next, angels with faces as radiant as the sun descend from the heavens. They gather around him in great numbers, stretching as far as the eye can see. Then the angel of death comes and sits at his head, saying, 'O good soul, come out to the forgiveness and pleasure of Allah.' At that moment, the soul gently departs, like a drop of water flowing from a water skin, and the angel takes hold of it. As soon as the angel grasps the soul, the other angels do not leave it in his hand for even the blink of an eye. They quickly take the soul, wrap it in a perfumed shroud, and from it emanates a fragrance sweeter than the finest scent of musk found on the face of the earth. The angels then bear the soul upwards, and as they pass by groups of angels along the way, each group asks, 'Who is this good soul?' The angels accompanying the soul reply, 'This is so-and-so, the son of so-and-so,' using the best names by which the person was known in this world. They bring the soul to the lowest heaven and request that the gate be opened for him. It is opened, and angels close to Allah from each of the heavens accompany him as he ascends through the subsequent heavens, until he reaches the heaven where Allah, the Great, is. Allah, the Mighty and Majestic, then says, 'Record the book of my servant in Ilion and return him to the earth. I created them from it, I return them to it, and I will bring them forth from it again.'" This hadith clearly illustrates that the soul of the believer, filled with goodness and positive energy, departs smoothly, like water flowing, and emits a fragrance comparable to that of flowers. Afterward, angels take the soul with them to the higher realms of the heavens, which exist in dimensions beyond this world. In metaphysical traditions, it is believed that souls burdened with negative energies, unresolved emotions, or what some call sin, operate at a lower frequency. In contrast to a high-frequency harmonious soul that can easily ascend to higher dimensions, a low-frequency soul may remain entangled in the denser vibrations of the physical world, struggling to detach from the body. For the soul of a non-believer, the Prophet, peace be upon him, described, "When an unbeliever is about to leave this world and transition to the next, angels with dark faces descend from the heavens, carrying rough, coarse haircloth. They gather around him in great numbers, stretching as far as the eye can see. Then the angel of death comes and sits at his head, saying, 'O foul soul, come out to the wrath and anger of Allah.' At that moment, the soul becomes divided within the body and is forcibly dragged out, like a skewer being pulled through wet wool. The angel of death takes hold of it, and as soon as he grasps the soul, the other angels do not leave it in his hand for even the blink of an eye. They quickly wrap the soul in the rough haircloth, from which emanates a stench as foul as the worst smell of a decaying corpse on the face of the earth. The angels then bear the soul upwards, and as they pass by groups of angels along the way, each group asks, "Who is this foul soul?" The angels accompanying the soul reply, "This is so-and-so, the son of so-and-so," using the worst names by which the person was known in this world. When they reach the lowest heaven and request the gate to be opened for him, it is denied. Allah, the Mighty and Majestic, then commands, "Record his book in Sijin, in the lowest depths of the earth." After that, the soul is flung down and cast away. When a person with a good soul, aligned with positive energy, is nearing death, their soul is in a high-energy state, operating at a frequency that is harmonious with the environment it is transitioning into. This elevated state of energy allows for a smoother, painless departure from the body, as the soul readily leaves its physical vessel in response to the positive stimuli it encounters, such as the presence of benevolent angels, symbolized by faces of light. This compatibility between the soul's energy and the surrounding environment facilitates a calm, effortless exit. On the other hand, for a person with a bad soul associated with negative energy, the energy and frequency of the soul are considerably lower at the time of death. The terror of encountering angels with dark faces and the knowledge of impending judgment induces a state of fear, further lowering the soul's energy and making it more resistant to departure. This resistance results in the soul clinging to the body, creating an energetic tension. The angels then forcibly extract the soul, causing immense pain and discomfort. The dissonance between the soul's low energy and the surrounding forces necessitates a violent separation, leading to a much more agonizing experience. Thus, scientifically, the experience of death for a good soul involves a natural resonance and alignment with higher frequencies, allowing for an easy transition. While for a bad soul, the energetic mismatch results in a difficult and painful departure from the body. It is narrated from Abdullah, may Allah be pleased with him, that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Instruct your dying ones to say, La ilaha illallah, there is no deity but Allah, because the soul of a believer departs gently, like a drop of sweat, whereas the soul of a disbeliever departs from the sides of his mouth, like the breath of a donkey." Quantum physics introduces another compelling element to the question of how the soul departs from the body, the theory of multiple dimensions. While the soul resides in the body during life, it may exist simultaneously in these higher dimensions. At the moment of death, the soul might be tuned by angels to a higher frequency, slipping into these alternate realms where the laws of time and space, as we understand them, no longer apply. This theory can be supported by verses of Surah Al-Waqi'ah narrated as, "Why then are you helpless when the soul of a dying person reaches their throat, while you are looking on? And we are nearer to such a person than you, but you cannot see." When someone dies, the angel of death comes to take his soul, no matter where he is. The dying person sees him, hears him, and speaks to him, but not with his eyes, his ears, or his tongue. According to these verses, it is the soul of that dying person that sees, speaks, and talks with beings coming from higher dimensions. So, the soul is being transferred to another realm, where the laws of our nature do not bound it and sees and do things that we cannot in this realm. Ibn al-Qayyim, may Allah be pleased with him, says, "After the soul is taken, if it is a pure soul and has relatives in the next world who are people of the garden, they come to meet the soul with yearning and great joy. They ask it about the condition of those who are still alive in this world. The angels then bear the soul from one heaven to the next until it comes into the presence of Allah. Glory be to Him, and may He be exalted. Then it returns and sees the washing of the body, its shrouding, and the funeral procession. It says either, 'Take me forward,' 'Or, 'Where are you taking me?' The people there cannot hear this." This transition can be compared to the quantum phenomenon of quantum tunneling. In quantum mechanics, particles are known to pass through barriers that would be impenetrable according to classical physics. Similarly, the soul might tunnel out of the physical body, passing through the barrier that separates the material world from higher planes of existence. This concept aligns with reports from individuals who have had near-death experiences, NDEs. Many describe a feeling of moving toward a bright light or entering another dimension, an experience consistent with the idea that the soul is transitioning to a higher frequency or a different quantum state. An intriguing question remains. Can we influence the frequency of our soul and, in turn, ease its departure from the body? The answer may lie in consciousness and intention. From a quantum perspective, consciousness is a powerful force that shapes reality. In the famous double-slit experiment, physicists observed that the mere act of observation altered the behavior of particles, implying that consciousness directly interacts with the quantum field. In the context of the soul, the state of one's consciousness at the time of death, whether peaceful or agitated, could influence the vibrational frequency of the soul and the ease with which it departs from the body. Intentional practices such as prayer or good work that satisfies our soul might help raise the soul's frequency, making its departure smoother. These practices could work by aligning the soul's energy with higher vibrational frequencies associated with love, acceptance, and surrender. Once the soul departs the body, where does it go? If we consider the soul as a quantum entity, it may continue to exist in the form of energy, albeit in a different dimension or realm. In the next chapter, inshallah, I will talk about the realm where souls go after a person dies. What happens to the souls, and what powers do they have in that realm?